Hello everyone, welcome to another shaving video. Today or tonight at the time of the recording I'm gonna use this beautiful Merkur 1904, or also known as 42C. When it comes to Merkur and most of their three-piece safety razors, they have different numbers. Like this is 42C, the open comb of this one I believe is 41C, but for the most part the main difference comes from the handle design. And as you can see, this is kind of like nice retro handle, which is not fully rounded, with those kind of like flat faces that I really like. And that's the main difference. The head is the popular head of the Merkur 34C, which is considered to be the most popular safety razor that is being used, and also one of the most popular safety razor options for beginners. I myself started with the more modern takes like Hanson and Rockwell 6S, but I decided to add one to my collection. I can see it online almost everywhere, and the price ranges around 30-40 Canadian dollars. I don't know how much it goes in the US or in Europe, but it shouldn't be too much of a difference. And I decided to grab one for the collection because it's kind of like a no-brainer, and I haven't tried the classic 34C Merkur razor, so I wanted just to add it and see how it feels. I have a few shaves with it, so this will be not the first impression. And let's dive into it. When it comes to technical specifications, there is nothing much available on the Merkur website. It's 67 grams, if I recall correctly, three-piece razor, nothing fancy. The material is zinc alloy and it's chrome plated. That's pretty much it. It's not CNC machine, so the tolerances, you can feel it. They're not as good as the more premium options, but that's why you pay just 30 bucks and you have a nice looking razor. Also, yeah, similar to the tolerances, the threading is a little bit on the wobbly side. I have to say it's the most wobbly threading that I have, but so far it's holding up. Speaking of it, I feel that this razor, if you're not careful how you tighten it, it will not last long, mainly because the threading will either snap or maybe you won't be able to tighten the razor after a little while. So be mindful about it. At least my razor, it's feeling a bit finicky on that area. I'm gonna use a big Astor blade. This will be the second or third use of this blade. What I like about these blades is that there is no wax or glue on them. As I mentioned, I'm not going to over tighten it. We have the blade. Hopefully you can see. Here's the alignment. Looking good. And on the sides over here, you can see the overhangs. You know, most of the older three-piece razors, they have these. So that's no surprise here. For the soap, I'm gonna use Vespers by Barrister & Man. I have it lathered here. And someone asked me about my Zenith bore brush. It's still here. I still use it. Haven't used it on the camera, so I whip my lather here in my Spot Prints bowl using the brush. You can see plenty of lather. Nice, thick and creamy, very luxurious. It took a while to work on this lather. I don't know if it was the brush or not, but yeah, I also scooped a little bit more because this is a bore brush, making sure that it will not eat up my lather. Plenty of lather here. Look at that. Nice cologne smell. The lather was staying for a little while, so the bathroom smells really nice. Before I start with the first pass, I want to mention that this razor is quite short. You can see here, I'll just bring out my Razorrock Lupo with the barber pole handle, which is, I believe, the shortest handle offered by Razorrock. You can see how the Merkur is significantly shorter over here. Just something to point out. If you don't like short handles, probably take a look at some of the other offerings. They have different kind of like model number on the Merkur offering. Same head as I mentioned, just it will be different handle. They have very long handles, they have like medium, and this is probably their shortest offering as far as I know. Let me know in the comments if you know more about it. Let's wet the razor and start with the first pass. Days of growth. The razor is very smooth. And when you use nice artisan soap, it will glide like a dream. So there is no official information about the blade gap or the blade exposure. But when it comes to this razor, it's very, very mild. There is no kind of like intimidating blade feel, though the blade feel is there, but it's very minimal. It just gives you an idea where the blade is. So if you need, you can adjust your angle according to your preference. After a few shaves with it, I can see why it's recommended for beginners that are considering to test safety razors for the first time. It feels that it's very forgiving, and even if you mess up the angle, there is pretty low chance for you to get a serious cut. And yeah, after one after one pass, you can certainly say, even by feel, if the microphone catches that there's quite a bit of stubble left. I have to say that maybe a tad bit more than even if you use Hanson, the mild version. Let's go across the grain for the second pass. You can probably hear that after the first pass there is quite a bit left. And you can see online that a lot of people are complaining that the razor is too mild and lack of efficiency. But I have to say, we're doing 3 passes, right? So let's see how the end result will be after 3 passes. That's occasionally something that people bring up with strong feelings. for mild razors, even for the Hanson. But the reality is that even if you do 2 passes, one with the grain and one against the grain, even with a mild razor you can get decent results. Of course, not with every mild razor, but it's not that problematic, in my opinion. For me, the biggest challenge with this razor is to have a nice detailing pass around my goatee. That usually requires a bit more buffing and repetition. Time to rinse the face and prepare it for the 3rd pass. I made a lot of lather. So if you use a boar or a badger brush and you're worried that it will absorb, or the so-called eating up your lather, just make sure that you soak your brush for a longer period of time. People say 5 minutes, but even if you put it like for 10, 15, 30 minutes, the brush will be doing good job at maintaining the lather. You can see over here. That's for good additional 3 passes. See? I squeezed it without an issue, and there is plenty more in my bowl. Just want to show you that natural brushes, they're not that scary, even though that some people complain a lot about them as well. So here is where that razor, being gentle, mild, less efficient for your shaving, starts to shine, in my opinion. When it comes to against the grain, the easy glide that I had in the 1st and the 2nd pass feels like it's amplified even more. Because that razor, being very mild, feels really pleasant and comfortable to glide, even across and against the grain, as I mentioned. Here is that part where I have to buff a lot, chasing that BBS as much as possible. Under the nose, against the grain, same thing, that smooth and comfortable glide. Just makes that razor very appealing. When I did a lot of buffing, It will be a nice test for the alum at the end. And yeah, that was a good 3-pass shave. So, is it BBS? That's the big question. So far, this is the mild razor that I cannot really achieve a full BBS. Maybe around 70% there, but you can feel significantly more stubble even if I compare it to the Hansen. Hansen, especially with the Astor big blade, it's very easy to achieve BBS. Here, even if I continue to buff, there will be still some stubble left, just on the problematic areas under the jawline. That will be the case. I shaved with this one more than 4 or 5 times, I think around 5 times with this shave, so the result is always consistent. That being said, it was very smooth and enjoyable 3-pass shave. Let me rinse the face. Time for our friend, the alum block. Did a lot of buffing under the nose, nothing. A lot of buffing around the goatee. Here, even at the end, a lot of buffing. Zero feedback from the alum. So, if you have extremely sensitive skin, this is your friend. I have to say that I have easier time irritating my skin with the Hansen compared to the Merkur 34C or this 42C because of the handle 1904. It has a lot of names, this one. Time for the matching splash, Vespers. A little bit of a weird choice for late night before going to bed shave, but I just grabbed this, decided to use it again. It's just a strong cologne smell. Yep, there is alcohol, I can feel that. The stinging. So, what did we use today? The Vespers set. You saw me using the splash. My Zenith bore brush. Some of you were concerned about it. It's safe and I use it. My spot prints, 3D printed bowl. You can see tons of lather over here. Just a bit more than almond seed to be safe with my bore brush. And you see there is nothing to be afraid of. Tons of luxurious yogurty lather. And the focus of the shave today, the Merkur 1904 aka 42C. Beautiful razor, it's a classic. The head is the same as 34C, so if you don't have one, it's just 30-40 Canadian dollars. It's pretty inexpensive, and in my opinion it's good to have it for the days where your skin might be irritated. If you live somewhere where it's very cold, perfect for the winter, you know, or skin gets dry and gets a bit extra sensitive, so that's probably a good shaver for the winter if you live somewhere where it's cold, or if you want to try it and it's a good razor to pass it to a friend and tell him, hey, throw away that Gillette cartridge, try this razor and let me know what you think. This is a good starting point and entry gateway to the wet shaving rabbit hole. Merkur 1904. I like it. I'll keep it for now in the collection. It's enjoyable razor to use, especially against the grain. I really like it. Thanks for joining me for this shave. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.